Hello, fourth graders. We are going to be doing a brand new unit in writing. And what you're going to be doing is interviewing someone. You're going to interview an adult. And I want you to maybe have some historical context with it. If I was picking a person, I might pick a grandma and grandpa. I think it'd be a great person, or mom, dad, or an aunt or an uncle. Somebody that maybe has been through quite a bit in life and just could give you a lot of knowledge about what life was like when they were growing up and maybe talk about some of the historical things that occurred. Several years ago, and this is about 20 years ago now, I interviewed a person that I've known, kind of a family friend and kind of a relative of mine named Rudy, and he was part of Germany's program when they were getting ready for World War II. So he was actually getting trained to be part of Adolf Hitler's youth camp. So I interviewed him and asked him a bunch of questions. And you can see here, I'll show this one to you later on, but this is going to be ultimately what your article is going to kind of look like at the end. It won't be as long as mine probably, but you're going to have a lot of information. And one of the biggest things that you're going to be doing is going to happen right away. By next week, Monday, by this upcoming Monday in a few days, I'd like you to have asked a question, asked at least 10 questions to the adult that you're going to be interviewing and writing your article about. I gave you a list of possibilities here. So you have to have at least 10 questions. I gave you a bunch more than that, so you could use any of these. You can certainly have your own questions as well. I just want to give you a lot of information just in case you don't know what kind of questions to ask. And then what you're going to be doing is typing up 10 of your questions. And then I would have a lot of spaces in between each of these. So when you're doing it, so if I was using number 1, for example, I would have a bunch of spaces in between so that I could eventually write down the quote, write down exactly what the person said. And you can print this if you have a printer at home. If you don't, you can handwrite this onto a different piece of paper and write down your 10 questions or as many questions as you want to. You're going to write those down, and then you're going to write down exactly word for word what the person says. So to give you an example of this, here are my questions that I have for Rudy. So the question that I wrote down was, where were you born? And then I put in quotation marks, Schaumburg, Germany. So I'm writing down word for word exactly what he said. What was life like in the Hitler Youth Camp? He said, I was trained to be a pilot. I never fought in the war because I was too young. I was 17 when the war was over. So I'm going to write down exactly word for word what they said. So again, by Monday, you're going to be picking who you're going to write your article about. It'll be an adult. And you're going to have at least 10 questions you'll ask them. And you want to write down word for word what they say in response to this. Try to encourage them to use complete sentences. Try to have questions that are going to be, you could ask why too, but try to give questions that aren't yes or no or one-word answers. Keep asking them to give you more information. The better quotes you have, the better your article is going to be. So I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, please let me know. Good luck.